Hello and welcome to That's Football. It was only just over a week ago when Cristiano Ronaldo said that Marcus Rashford could go on to become what Ronaldo and Messi are now, a world superstar. And is it time, after his latest endeavour for England, the winner last night against Slovakia, is Marcus Rashford now considered one of the world's great talents? I'm glad Ronaldo said it. I'm glad he's getting the exposure that he deserves, because personally, on the United stand, if you've seen me on there, I've been saying this for a long time, that Marcus Rashford is England's best talent, and it's about time the world sat up and noticed that. Not the finished article at all, was at fault for the first goal for Slovakia yesterday, but came back with an assist and a winner that shows that he, like many young players that have come through the England setup and the Manchester United setup, he has that most important asset of all, the one that Ronaldo had. That perseverance, that dedication to his craft, that ability to never give in, the ability to believe in oneself. And Rashford has it in abundance. Just this summer, we've noticed, as many people have seen last night for England, that he looked like a 19-year-old at the start of the summer. He now looks like a man. Doesn't turn 20 until Halloween. And when we look at people comparatively in the English game, there is no England comparison to Marcus Rashford coming through at the moment. There is no youth talent. Dele Alli is a very good player, but Rashford is way, way younger than him. Harry Kane, another young player, considered, but 24, 5 years the senior of Rashford. Rashford is the great hope, and that always worries me when it's England's great young hope, because we've seen it with Gascoigne, with Rooney and many others, that there's always one great hope and the pressure becomes too much. But at a club like Manchester United, that is the thing about Rashford. When you look around, and I think we've got to look outside of the Premier League. I mean, realistically, outside of the Premier League, who comes close to Marcus Rashford? Well, there's two notables. Kylian Mbappe, who's just gone to PSG for 160 million. He doesn't turn 19 until December, so he's a year younger than Rashford. You've then got Ousmane Dembele, who's gone from Dortmund to Barcelona for 135 million. He is 20 already. He's actually 4 months older than Rashford. So what price Marcus Rashford, and where does he fit in against Mbappe and Dembele as, potentially the two big names that most people would go towards? Well, Marcus Rashford's not playing for Stoke, with all fairness. He's not playing week in, week out for Stoke with very little pressure. He burst on the scene for Manchester United because Van Gaal had nobody else left. He was playing people like Will Keane ahead of Marcus Rashford. Will Keane, who's he? Most non-United fans will ask. He came on for Martial, who got injured in the warm-up, and he scored on his debut. He was fantastic for Manchester United. He retired Demichelis in the Manchester derby at the Etihad a couple of months later. He then went into the summer, a late call-up for England in the Euros, and only played about 10 minutes and was England's best player in those 10 minutes that he played for Boring Hodgson. Last season, under Mourinho, some would say not such a good season, but he kept in there. He persevered. He learnt the way of Mourinho. And by the second half of the season, Mourinho was waxing lyrical like everybody else does about Rashford, about his work rate, his ethic, and why he trusts him. And then Rashford is where he is now, considered the best player in England's youth setup, the best England youngster, the best England striker for me. He is the one that has that je ne sais quoi, that bit of extra, that talent to be truly world class. Injury permitting, I think he can be anything he wants to be. I think he can obliterate Rooney's goal record at Manchester United, and that's the impressive thing for me, is that Rashford gets thrown in at the deep end. As I said, he's playing week in, week out for Manchester United, the biggest club in England, the biggest club because they get the most pressure, the biggest club because everybody wants to beat them every week. And Rashford, as a kid, only the other week away to Swansea, being booed. Some United fans didn't understand why, because the Swansea fans remembered from the season before he'd gone down and earned a penalty. Already at 19 being booed by the opposition. This shows the status of the lad. And when we talk about Ousmane Dembele or Kylian Mbappe, with all due respect to those lads, if they're worth 150 million a pair, then how much is Rashford? He's got to be worth at least that, because yes, Mbappe did it in the Champions League for Monaco, but he also spent a lot of the time playing in a pub league in France. And the same applies for Dembele. Yes, he's done very well for Dortmund in the year that he was there, but again, playing in a pub league. Rashford is learning his trade in the most competitive and physical league in the world, in the Premier League. And he's also doing it for an England side managed by Gareth Southgate, and still managed to shine. He's done fantastically well. Is he the greatest? I think he's the greatest talent in England at the moment. Is he the greatest talent in world football? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe not at the moment. But what price Marcus Rashford, and what price that Marcus Rashford will be the greatest and another England talent on the world stage, which we haven't really had for a long time. Also, what I want to say is this. Yes, I'm from the United stand. Yes, I'm a Manchester United fan. But I don't jump on bandwagons of Manchester United youngsters being the best player in England, or the best player, potentially the best player in the world, just because they play for the club I support. Danny Welbeck played for Manchester United. I never once said he was going to be one of the best players in world football. Jesse Lingard came through our youth system. I'm realistic, and most Manchester United fans are. Marcus Rashford's a special talent. Dele Alli is a special talent at Spurs. We haven't got that many though, and I think Marcus Rashford needs to be carefully wrapped up in cotton wool and looked after, because we've seen it so many times with so many others. But I'll guarantee you, if Marcus Rashford had been playing for Monaco last year and he was French, everyone would be saying Rashford's the best player in the world. I think because he's English, because he plays in the Premier League, there's that snobbery of everybody else, or you can't be one of the world's best if you're English and you're playing in the Premier League. And I think he can be. And the most important asset he's got, alongside that ability to finish with his right foot, his speed, his power, is his work rate, is his dedication. And that is what won Mourinho round. Fantastic player. Is he the best? Get commenting below. I've got a little poll for you in the top right hand corner. 5 youth stars of today. Where does Rashford rate? Vote for your favourite. Thanks everyone for watching. This is That's Football. Give us your thoughts below. Drop a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe. Is there anybody else in England that you think is better than Rashford? Is there anybody in world football that's better than Rashford? Thanks for watching. I'll speak to you all very soon.